In this video today, we're going to make this t-shirt, and this is going to be from the start to finish, from importing it into my Scan and Cut Canvas software and cutting it out with my Scan and Cut DX, and then ironing it onto the t-shirt. And so let's begin. Okay, I have downloaded an SVG file from the internet that I'm going to want to make into a t-shirt. And it's this particular file right here. Now, the problem with this is if I turn off the color here, just look at the cut files, all the letters and characters inside this cat, with a few exceptions, are actually part of the outline of the cat. And if I select this and unlock all, and then I select the whole thing, come to edit, and even if I try to divide, it doesn't make each of those letters and characters inside as individual cut files. They are part of the cat themselves. So in other words, I can't make the letters and the hearts and the dash lines and the little stars that are inside of the cat a separate layer so that I can cut them out of different colors of vinyl. This is basically set up so that those are just cut out of the main single vinyl, and so the color of the t-shirt is what's going to show through. And I mean, that's fine if that's what you want, then you're finished. You can just cut this out and make the cat black, cut it out of black, and put it on a light colored t-shirt, and then the letters and characters inside the cat would be the same color as the t-shirt. But say you want to have all those characters in a different colored vinyl. I'm going to show you how to convert or invert this SVG file in a free program called Inkscape so that you can get just those characters as a separate layer. Okay, I've opened Inkscape and I'm going to open the SVG file. So I'll go to Open, and I'm going to browse to where the file is, and it's this one right here. And so I will open it. And then I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to come up to Edit, and I am going to make a bitmap copy. Then I'll drag that copy over, and then I'll come back to the original file and I'll delete it and bring this one back. I'm going to come up to Edit, and I will invert the selection. I'm going to select it again, and I'm going to come up to Path. I'm going to trace the bitmap. I'm going to invert the image, and I will click OK. And then we can close that, and now here is our inverted bitmap. And so I am going to save this now. I'll file Save As, and I'll call this One Cat Short of Crazy Inkscape. And then now we will come to our Canvas workspace, and we will open up the SVG, and we will scroll down to the Inkscape SVG that we just made. And now I'm going to select it. I will unlock all, and we'll select it again. We'll come over here to Edit, and I want to divide. Now we can go around and we can get rid of the outside layers. And all we've got left are the text and characters and other things that we've got in there. So I'm going to select them all, select them all, come to my layers view, right click and group. And I'll call these letters, etc. So we've got our first layer of our design. And I'm going to just click and drag this out of the way. And now I'm going to come back to import an SVG, and I'm going to import the original file, which is this one right here. This is the one that I downloaded from the internet. And I'm going to change the color of my text and whatnot over here to some other color. Let's change it to yellow. And I'm going to click and drag this so that it's over the original. I'm going to zoom in so that I can fine-tune the placement of this, and that looks pretty good. I'll set my zoom back to 37%. And so now I can go ahead and group all the black ones. So I'll group those, and I'll call this one the cat. So now we've got two layers. We've got our cat layers and we've got our letters. Now I'll show you how this is going to work if you put it on different colored t-shirts. So I'm just going to add a rectangle here. And this is going to act as our t-shirt color. And so I'll change that. Let's change it to a gray color. And let's right click, arrange, and send to back. And so this is what the t-shirt would look like if we cut the cat layer out of black vinyl and the letters out of the yellow. And we can look at them one at a time. If you didn't cut out the yellow layers, the color of the t-shirt would just come through for the characters. You could cut these out of some yellow vinyl and layer them on top of the black layer, and then your letters and characters and whatnot would have a different color vinyl. Now the problem would be here, what if your t-shirt is black? And now your black cat is going to completely disappear. So let's move our t-shirt color out of the way, and I'm going to show you how to create an outline image from your cat. And so I'm going to select the cat. I'm going to right click and duplicate it. And I'm going to move it out of the way. I'm going to, just for right now, I'm going to delete my rectangle. And then on this duplicate, I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to offset it by 0.04. I'm going to go outward. I'm going to delete the original line, and I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to weld it. Well, actually, I got to select everything first, and I'm going to weld it. And now I'm going to offset it again, 0.04. This time I'm going to go inward. I'm going to delete the original line and click OK. So what we've got here now is a line that completely matches the outline of our cat. Now to make an outline, I'm going to duplicate this again. I'm going to scroll this one down. I'm going to offset it again. This time I want to go 0.08. You can change this. Whatever you put here is going to be the size of your outline around the cat. We want to change the offset direction to outward. And we want to make sure we delete the original line and click OK. So now we have our two lines that are our outlines. So we're going to select the two of these. We're going to come back to Edit. We're going to align the objects to the center and the middle. And now that we've got these two selected, let's go to our layers view again. So here are our two outline shapes. You can tell which is the inside. This is the inside. This is the outside because the outside is a little bigger. You want to make sure your inside is above your outside. So now this is the smaller one and this is the bigger one, as you can see. So now we want to select both of these. Go back to Edit, scroll down to Process Overlap, and we want to subtract. Now what we've just done is we've created an outline for our cat. And so we're going to select the outline plus the cat, come back to Edit, we're going to align it to center and to the middle. And then we'll want to line up again with our yellow layer. And temporarily, this outline and the cat I want to group because I want to change its position. I'm going to zoom in here so that I got it positioned around our yellow group just right. And so this looks perfect right like that. Okay, I'll change my zoom back to about 37%. So now we've got everything lined up. So I'm going to ungroup our cat and outline. So we have got three shapes. So I'm going to call this one outline. And I'm going to change my outline color to white. So by unclicking the eyeball here, you can see here this is our outline layer, this is our cat layer, and this is our letters, etc. layer. And so now we've got our individual layers for this particular design. And let's add our rectangle back so that you can see if we now put this on a black t-shirt. I'll right click and I'm going to arrange and send to back. Now you can see it. You can cut out this outline to put onto a black t-shirt. And if you want your letters to also be white, and then you could group the letters and the outline together and cut them just out of some white vinyl at the same time. And so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. So whether or not you cut out your outline depends on whether or not the color of your t-shirt is going to interfere with your black cat. The letters, etc., you would cut those out if you want the letters that are inside to be different than just the basic color of your t-shirt. So in some cases, all you would need to do is cut out the black vinyl of the cat. It's going to cut out all these characters in the middle, and you would have a single layer to iron onto your t-shirt. If you wanted the letters also, then you could cut those out of white vinyl, and then after you iron on your black vinyl, you would just layer the white on top of it. And then the same with the outline. If you need to put an outline around the entire thing, then you could cut out your outline. And what I would recommend doing, as I said, is make the outline the same color as the letters. And then you could group the letters and the outline together. Whoops. We group those together and then send that as one layer to cut out on your Scan and Cut. And so the next part of this video is I'll show you how to send these layers to the Scan and Cut. What we're going to do is we're going to cut out the black layer of the cat, and then we're going to combine the outline and the letters and cut those out of white vinyl. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of my shapes view. Now I'm going to want to size this, and I'd say 8 inches is probably a good size for an adult size t-shirt. And then if this is going to be on iron-on vinyl, then you're going to also want to flip it to do a mirror image and cut it out this way. If you're just going to cut it out on like Oracal vinyl, the kind with the sticky back, and you're going to cut from the top of the vinyl, then you would cut it out normally. But if you're cutting off of iron-on vinyl, you're actually going to be cutting from the back of the vinyl, and so you want to make sure that you flip it first. Okay, and now I'm going to want to cut some pieces of vinyl that are going to be big enough to cut out my different layers. So I'm going to go to my layer view here, and I am going to, first of all, look at the cat, which is going to be my black layer. So I'm going to toggle this is my outline. I will toggle the outline off. So I'm just got the cat selected, and I'm going to come to edit view, and I'm going to see what the size of it is here. So the design itself is 7.87 by 8.27. So what I like to do is cut a piece of vinyl that is about 0.25 inches bigger widthwise and height. So my black vinyl, I will maybe do 8 inches by 8.5 inches. So I will cut a piece of vinyl that's 8 inches by 8.5 for the black layer. And then for the white layer, I will just look at my outline, and then I will come to edit. Gotta select this. And the size of this is 8 inches by 8.4. So my white piece of vinyl, I'm going to cut a piece that's 8.25 by 8.75. Okay, now I'm going to send these patterns to my Scan and Cut, and I'll send them both at the same time. So I'm going to come up to File, Transfer FCM File via the Internet, and it tells me the registered machine is ready to download it. So now we'll go to the Scan and Cut. Okay, I've cut out my two pieces of vinyl. I'll start by cutting out the black piece. There's a shiny side and there's a dull side. And so I'm going to put it shiny side down. So I'll just place this on the mat. I'm going to brayer it down. I'm going to put some micropore tape on it. Okay, and now I will bring my Scan and Cut out. And I will load the mat and then press the Load Mat button. Okay, now I'm going to retrieve data from the internet. I'm going to scan in my background. Okay, now I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to get rid of the white one here because I'm not going to cut that one out this time. And now I'm going to make sure that my cat is centered. And let's see. For some reason it is too big. I think I got my black on sideways, so I am going to rotate it. So I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees. And now I'm going to zoom, and I will make sure it's in my square. Okay, and that's about right. So I click OK, 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 I'm going to cut it. I'm going to hit the little wrench here, and I'm going to make sure that the half cut is on, which it is, and then I will start. Okay, it's finished cutting, so I'm going to eject the mat, move my scan and cut out of the way, and then I'm going to remove the mat, or remove the vinyl. And then I'm going to put the white sheet down, shiny side down. Okay, and I'll hit the home key to erase the existing pattern. I'm going to retrieve the data again from the internet. And this time I'm going to delete the black cat. And so we just have our outline. Make sure. Let's see, that doesn't look right either. Okay, and apparently this last one that I cut out, I had actually cut out the white one. I'm going to retrieve my data again. So when I cut out the black vinyl, I was actually, this top one is actually my outline. And so, I mean, in this case, it's no big deal. I'll just kind of do an inverse weeding because the entire cat is still there. And so it's just not what I intended to do. But I will scan in the background. Okay, and I am going to go to the wrench and turn the background to the darkest so that when I put this on, I'll have a better chance of making sure it's on the vinyl. And so okay, now I'll click OK and OK and OK. I will select it to cut and start. Okay, and while the white one is cutting out, I'm going to go ahead and start to weed my black one here. So I'm going to remove everything from the outside. Okay, and now the white one is finished cutting. So I'll go ahead and I will eject the mat. Okay, now I'm going to weed the white. I'm going to kind of press it down here because some of these are, you know, really dainty. And so I want to make sure that it's pressed down really well. In fact, I will use my little scraper tool here just to make sure that all of these designs are pressed down as well as possible before I start weeding it. Okay, the next step is we will iron it onto the t-shirt. Okay, now we're going to be ready to press this onto a t-shirt. If I were to put this on a dark t-shirt or a light t-shirt like this, I could just put this single layer on. Or also put on the outline layer. That would be optional for this light colored shirt. But I'm going to want to put this design on a dark colored t-shirt. And so you can see when I put the black cat on this dark colored t-shirt, it disappears pretty much. And so that would be the purpose of the outline. So the first thing I want to do is I want to prepare my shirt. I'm using my Easy Press, and my this is a Cricut Easy Press 2, and an Easy Press mat. The particular HTV vinyl that I'm using is this particular brand right here. And it says to do it at 305 degrees for 10 to 15 seconds. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just warm up the t-shirt to get rid of any water that's in it. And then I want to find the middle of the t-shirt, so I'm going to fold it in half, matching up the seams, and just like this. And then I'm going to press the seam. And you probably can't see it very well on the video, but I can see the seam here. And so I'm going to take my black design, and this is the non-sticky side. I'm just going to kind of fold it in half, and I'm going to crease the top and the bottom just so that I can determine where the middle of the design is. And then I'm going to use the seam I just drew to get that positioned. And I'm going to want the top of my design about 3 inches from the top. So that'll be about like right there. Make sure that my middle is along that seam. I need to move this whole thing up a little bit. And my seam, I didn't press it far enough down, so I'll just kind of put a ruler here so that I can get that centered. Okay. Oops. I'm going to do this again. Okay. Okay, and the sticky back on this isn't very sticky, so I'm going to use some heat-resistant tape. Okay, so I'm going to put a Teflon sheet over this, and I'm going to heat this for 10 seconds. Okay, now I'm going to position the white one on top. And this is going to be hard because it's a really dark design. Okay, to help me position this, I've put my light pad underneath here just so that I can see a little bit better what I'm doing as I position the outline around this. Okay, and I'll heat this down for the full 15 seconds. And I'll also turn it around. And I will heat it from the back.
And now I'll remove the transfer sheet.
Okay, and I'm going to give this one more heating. I'll put my Teflon sheet on top, and I'll maybe do it for 10 seconds. Okay, and so that completes the t-shirt. And so Let me zoom in here so that you can see the design. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.